Hey everyone, it's Holly, and I'm back with another video. To all of you who have recently subscribed, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy the things that I'm putting on here. I just wanted to say that I'm going to be doing an eye look today. I already have some face makeup on, but one thing that I always kind of forget to do is use setting spray when I'm doing face stuff. So the setting spray that I really love is the Urban Decay All Nighter. I feel like it works really, really well. You get 4 ounces for like $30, and I just kind of do a few sprays like that. It really helps lock your makeup in and help it to last longer. But I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow look today that is going to be more kind of like a soft Valentine's Day kind of look, because Valentine's Day is coming and you all might have big plans. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do as far as exactly the look, but I'm going to just kind of go with, I have an idea, but I'm going to kind of just go with the way that the palette takes me, which I need to grab my palette. All right, I already have my eyes primed with some concealer and then a little setting powder on top, and we're going to go ahead and just get right into it. So I have, I'm kind of up close, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do one eye on camera, one eye off camera in order to save time as we go through each of the steps. But what I'm going to be using my Jaclyn Hill by Morphe palette today, and it is a wreck because I use it all the time. But this is what it looks like if you haven't seen any of my other videos. It has a whole lot of shadows to work with, and you can just about achieve any look with this palette. So I really, really enjoyed this. And I'm going to incorporate a little bit of the Tartelette Toasted palette, which you see me using all the time for a mirror. But it's got some kind of soft pinky little shades in it, so we're going to use some of it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start with the transition shade. If you've not watched any of my other eyeshadow application videos and you are not really familiar with what a transition shade is, I'm going to break that down for you real quick. And it's just kind of any shade that looks like a coffee with cream. Now, how much cream that coffee has as far as the color of the shade is up to you. But I usually start with, you can see that I've hit pan on this one because I was using it the most. But now I'm using this a lot because it's kind of similar to it. Just a little bit darker, not much. And I use the one that's directly on the other side of that one as well. But with the transition, you just want to use a big fluffy style blending brush. A lot of these, any of these brushes that are silver that you see came in a little Wet n Wild brush set that I got for a steal before Christmas. It was regular $30 for the set. I paid $15 and I got 10 brushes. So that was a really, really good deal. But I'm going to tap any excess product after I dip into the eyeshadow pan. I'm going to tap my brush off, and I usually just lay out a baby wipe on my vanity, and that way I can not make a mess and just tap the excess product onto there. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of look in my mirror, but also be where you all can see. And I just put that above my crease. I don't have huge eyes, in case you didn't already know. And so if I were to go directly in my crease, it wouldn't leave me a lot of room to work with down here to do different colors. So I do it above my crease. If you have hooded eyes, then you might want to go above, you probably do want to go above the crease as well. But I just use kind of small circular motions and buff it in there, starting on the outer edge of the eye and then working my way in without dipping into new product when going in here, because I don't like to have a lot of dark shadows in there. So we're just going to do a little bit more, just kind of make it look like airbrush, smoked out, that type of look. All right, that's pretty good for the transition. I'm going to do the other side, and I will be right back. I'm back. I have the transition shade on both eyes. And one thing I forgot to do that I typically do when I've already got my face makeup applied is I like to put a little setting powder under my eyes, so then I can just whisk away any shadows that may have some fallout. So any of that color that falls down. out from under my eyes. It'll fall on top of that powder. Then when you whisk it away, it's as if it were never there, and then your face makeup doesn't get messed up. Because I'm the type of person that likes doing my face makeup before anything else. It's kind of whatever your personal preference is, but that is mine. Okay, so the next shade we're going to do is going to be a little bit darker of a brown, but this is almost like a pinky brown. And again, we're going to focus on top of the crease because I'm actually going to do a cut crease. And so when I cut that crease out, I want to still be able to see the shadows that I've applied already. And we're building this up, and you don't want to go all the way to the eyebrow. You want to stay underneath of the brow. And I'm just doing the exact same motions with this shade. But I want to make sure that I get a pretty good application of it down, because this is probably going to be all of the color that I do on the top of the cut crease. But even though this is like, they're brown colors, they're warmer brown, so they have a little bit of a pinkiness to them. And so when we cut this crease out, it's going to still like flow with what we're going to put down here. So it's not going to be that big contrast like the cut crease that I did that had kind of the orangey pink on the top and then purple on the bottom. This is going to be more kind of fluid because we're going for like a softer look. Okay, so I've got that on both eyes. Now I'm going to cut out my crease, and to do that, if you haven't seen my old video, I'm just going to do, or my last video about a cut crease, I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down the steps for you. You take a concealer, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape, and put it down on your eyelid. So the lower part of the lid under the crease. So just put that down, and then I look up. So I kind of put my head down a little bit and look up. And look around, because that's going to tell you kind of where your crease actually is, so you know where to cut it out. And then I take a little small brush, kind of like this one. It's already got concealer on it, because I did a cut crease the other day. Now see how it's showing where my crease actually is the longer I have it on? We're just going to first kind of pat that down on the bottom part of the lid, because this is the easy part. These take practice. That's all I can tell you, is it's going to take practice. You're not going to be great at this the first time you try it. And if you are, good for you, because it took me, I'm still not great at it. I'm getting better, but we learn together on this channel. So I'm just following that natural line of the crease. And then I'm going to kind of circle, like go in like an arch motion. And just try to clean up that line and make it kind of flow as neatly as possible. That's why I like using a really small brush for this. So you can really get kind of detailed. And as you can see, this is higher than where my natural crease is, but that's where I'm getting transfer. So whatever shadows I put down here on the lid are going to transfer up to where that concealer transferred. So that's why you kind of want to go with the flow on that. And I will, once I start to get to this part, because I'm kind of running out of product a little bit that's already applied to the lid, then I'm going to just tap my brush actually on this little wand instead of reapplying the wand to my eye, because that can get messy. So we're just going to keep going across the lid. And just try to make that as clean of a little arch as possible. Pull it down. See how it's going so far? keep on pulling over. And then I like to kind of wing mine out a little bit. We're just doing like little tapping motions, pulling the product over. See what I'm doing? Again, I'm not perfect at these. I'm not a professional. I am learning as I go here. And I learned from watching videos similar to mine on how to do this stuff. So see how I kind of winged it out there? Just trying to clean up that little arch a little bit. It is not perfect by any means, but it's on. All right, I'm going to do the other eye off camera, and I will be right back. I think I'll be right back. Okay, I couldn't get my pause button on my phone pushed. I don't know why. But I've got the other eye done. They are not completely identical because I'm not a professional. And I don't understand how some of these girls I watch do these tutorials can get it to where their crease, their arch is so perfectly straight. I mean, like no little bumps whatsoever. But I'm still learning. So we will keep on going. All right, so the next thing that you want to do is you want to go in with kind of like a matte shade that's kind of neutral and brush it on top of the concealer a little bit. That way you will be able to blend your shadows and it's not going to be super tacky. I go in with this shade S'more in this Tartelette palette, the Tartelette Toasted palette. It's just kind of like a neutral, almost like a setting powder shade. You can just use setting powder also. I just didn't want to get mine back out right now because they all kind of work the same. This is also going to help you not to have any creasing or as little as possible. And as I said, this is going to be a softer look. So I don't want to use a ton of dark shadows in my outer V like I do a lot of times. But I'm going to go in with, I will show you this shade here, which is called Cashmere. Look, you see in my vanity. It's called Cashmere, and it's very like very light color of peach, like shade of peach. Swirl my brush around in there, tap off the excess, and I'm going to start off on the outer portion of where I cut the crease. And I'm really kind of just using patting motions. This shade is very powdery in this palette. I like these shadows a lot because they... Actually, I'm going to do this all over the whole thing. But just not as intense on the inner portion. But these shadows are extremely blendable, which is why I like this palette so much. I like all of the Tartelette Toasted palettes, or the Tartelette palettes. But this one is pretty powdery. Just to let you know. All right, I'm going to do that to the other eye, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and did the other eye, the next step that I'm going to do to it. But as you see, I have that cashmere shade all over the lid where I cut that crease out. And now I'm going to go in with this shade called Warmth. And it's kind of a corally color. And I'm going in with a smaller blending brush. So this is smaller than the one I usually use on my outer V, just because I don't want to blend that crease too much. And I'm just patting that on the outer V and pulling it all the way out to where I winged the shadow out. This is looking messy, but we'll clean it up. Don't worry. And I'm just kind of using the tapping motions to just really kind of pack it on there. And now, just to give us a little bit of definition, I'm going to go in with that Morphe pencil brush. Sorry, my dog's in the background. The MB27 that I talked about, like, I think 2 videos ago. And I'm going to use a little bit of a darker shade. Let me decide what I'm going to use. I'm going back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I'm going to use this one right here. It is like a shimmery reddish color. And I'm just going to pack that on kind of directly on the outer V. I'm not going to pull it all the way out, I don't think. I might need to put some Fix Plus on this, and I don't know where I put my Fix Plus. We'll just use the setting spray. Just dampen this brush a little bit because I'm not really getting a whole lot of pigmentation out of it. Tap that brush off on my hand so it's not too wet. Now we should get some pigmentation here. There we go. See how I did that? I'm dipping back in again, tapping off the excess. And I'm just going to kind of meld this in together as I pull it out. To that wing that I did out there. Okay. And I will be right back with the next step. Okay, so I've got that on the other side now, and we're going to go into our next step, which is I'm going to use this shade right here. It's like a shimmery pinkish gold, but on the lighter side of it, I just rubbed it on my finger, directly onto my finger. I'm going to start in the inner corner and just kind of pack that on and meet with that kind of coral color that we had on. Just kind of blend it in there. And do you see where your crease is cut? Ignore all of this. We'll get that cleaned up. Don't worry. Now I'm just going to wipe my finger off on my little wipe here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I will be right back. Okay, so now we've got that on, and we're going to go under the eye now. I'm just wiping off that little pencil brush because that's what I'm going to use under the eye. And I think that since we're kind of going for the Valentine-y type of look, we're going to go in under the eye with this shimmery red right here. But we're going to use very, very little product. We're not going to make it intense at all. This will kind of give it just that more red look. And I'm just going under my lower lash line with this little pencil brush. Okay, so now we've got that on. And now we're going to whisk away this powder and we're going to start cleaning everything up. So I just go in with a little like fluffy, smaller powder brush because it helps me to get more exact. And you want to kind of just brush out this kind of messy area, but we will clean that up more. This is just to kind of get us started on it. And I'm just using kind of swiping motions to whisk it away a little bit. And this look is a more soft look just because we didn't go with any like browns or blacks in the outer V. And we're not going to go nearly as intense with the eyeliner that I typically would either. And we'll highlight our brow bone. Actually, let's just go ahead and highlight the brow bone. I'm just going to use this shade Sunrise right there to do the brow bone. And I just go directly under the arch of my eyebrow. And I kind of bring it down to where that point is, where we winged out the cut crease. I'm doing the same thing on this eye. Okay, so now that we have that on, we're going to do a softer liner. I'm going to have to look down to do my eyeliner. Sorry, forgive it. I'm using the Wet n Wild felt tip eyeliner. I talked about this in yesterday's video. This was $2.50. I do like this. It did stay on all day. However, when I went to wash it off, it got everywhere. I mean everywhere, like all down my cheeks and stuff. Not a fan of that aspect of it, but okay, so what we want to do is try to get as thin of a line going as possible. Trying to get it where you all can see what I'm doing, and I can see what I'm doing here. And in order to apply better, like a straighter line of eyeliner, you want to lean it on your elbow, on your knee, or up on a tabletop. And I'm just going to do the tiniest little baby wing. And I had to get thicker than I originally wanted because I accidentally tapped this on my eyelid before I even really started putting it on. And we're just going to do the tiniest little wing. I can't really see. Like so. Okay? It's pointed, it's angled down a little more than I wanted it to be. This is how it always goes with eyeliner. The wing gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go. As you're kind of trying to clean it up. And I just messed that whole thing up. It's okay. We're going to wear lashes. Okay, I'm going to do the other side off camera. And I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit. And I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and just put a little more blush on where that setting powder had kind of covered up my blush, but we're going to clean up over here where I told you we would. I just take that same little brush that I used to do the cut crease and then just dab it onto the wand of my concealer. And the eyeliner is bigger than we wanted it to be, folks. Sometimes that just happens. I'm just going to go under where my wing is and pull it up. And it just cleans it up. So then you don't see kind of all that messiness going on. And I'm going to do the same on the other eye. I've got the glue on my lashes drying right now. Sorry for my open mouth. When I'm focusing, I open my mouth. Usually just take my finger to soften that up a little bit. I've got to get these lashes on before the glue completely dries. There we go. All right, I'm going to pop my other lashes on off camera in the interest of not making this video an hour long, and I will be right back. All right, well, we've got our lashes on. There's going to be two more quick things that I'm going to do. One thing I'm going to do is, these are both tips to make your eyes look more open. I'm going to do an inner corner highlight, and a lot of times I use my Stila Magnificent Metals like I did yesterday, the Glitter and Glow eyeshadow. But since we're going for kind of a softer look, this may not look soft because I did the eyeliner so much thicker than I wanted. But I'm going to go in this shade of Candle, and it's a shimmery kind of a champagne color. And I'm going to take a very small tipped brush, just dip it in there, and then put some in the inner corner, like so. It really kind of just opens the eyes up a little more. And the last thing that I'm going to do to make the eyes more open, and I wanted to do this, I know we're hitting close to 30 minutes on this video, so I'm about to wrap it up, but I'm going to use, this is actually a lip liner, but it's the Kat Von D Everlasting Lip Liner in the shade Swanley, and I'm going to apply that to my waterline on my lower lid. It's kind of just a nude lip liner, but it's safe for use on the eyes. And this will also, I get black over here. I don't know what that is, but this will also make the eyes more open. So this didn't turn out exactly the way that I wanted. I wanted it to be a little softer with a little less liner, but I had a little mess up in the beginning, but that's the way it goes, and sometimes you just gotta roll with it. But this is kind of like a peachy, pinky, little Valentine's look with some red under the lower lash line. And I really like the way that it looks. It has a little bit of a golds in the shimmer area here, and just kind of practicing a cut crease. You can't really see my cut crease that much anymore, but I mean, you can, but it's not like bold because we're using close you know, complementary shades on the top and bottom. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. Not sure what I'm going to do next time. Hopefully the video comes together a little better next time. And God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.